What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazique, aka Unique Mazique, the hardest working man in sports and gaming, and I'm back with another episode of Ask Mazique. If you want to be down, you want to ask a question, shoot me the message or shoot me the question on Twitter at Unique Mazique and use that hashtag Ask Mazique. Now we're gonna jump right into the questions today or this time, and this one comes from my man Dope D. And Dope D asks, what direction do you think NBA 2K should go for NBA 2K20 in terms of archetypes? Because it seems like they've regressed because of where the NBA is now in terms of all of these all-around players in the league now. They had it right in all of the 2Ks before 2K17. So I tend to agree with you, Dope D, in a lot of ways. I think that 2K has overmanaged the whole demigod, the whole trying to balance out the archetypes. I really do. I think that first of all, that balance should only exist in Pro-Am and Park. Like that's the only place that it should even exist. Playing everywhere else, I don't think that like you should be pigeonholed into that type of a thing. Now, the other thing is this. I think that these archetypes should be more wide open. Like, I don't think there should be a type of player in the NBA that there's a guy or type that exists in the world right now that you absolutely cannot create in the game, in any mode. Like, so literally right now, you really can't be LeBron James. You can't be Kevin Durant. You can't be. Because if 2K feels, or players or whoever have felt that if you're allowed to become that guy, then you would be unstoppable. And that makes the imbalance. And I don't think that that's the case. I think that there is I think it could be the case to a degree, but I think that attaining that level, I think in the past was too easy. And I don't think that it was skill based enough. I think that attaining the type of archetype or the type of attributes for a player, for your my player, and we're talking about my player now, in attaining that level, right? So if you want to be Kevin Durant, I think that it should be based on a combination of skill and grinding, right? So I think there should be certain types of metrics, certain types of things that you have to do from a shot timing standpoint, or from a a winning percentage standpoint, something that is put into play that says, hey, we will unlock this if you're able to do this. And I'm going to make an example. I'm going to bring up an example for you, right? If you're playing Call of Duty and you have like your score streaks set, right? And then there's certain rewards and things that you get for your score streaks, right? You can set it at different levels, but the prices for the score streak depending on how potentially dominant this thing is that you can get. So if you want to get the Sniper's Nest or the Strike Team or Hailstorm or whatever, you have to get a certain amount of kills in a row to kill, or a certain amount of damage being done in a row without dying, so that you can maintain the score streak. And that's what opens up this stuff. Now, if some people are saying, well, if you're already good at the game, why would you need them to unlock something else that makes you even better? Because it's a reward for doing this thing. And it also puts it up to a place where if you're not really good at the game, you're not ever going to get this reward. So if you translate that to basketball, right? If there's some sort of module or testing, some portion of my court that you have to go into, that you have to hit a certain amount of green releases on a jump shot, and you have a timed amount of time to do it, you can only do it maybe once a week. Only once a week will this type of upgrade be available to you, right? So one time a week, players can go into their my court and earn the badge, earn this particular badge, upgrade their badge, and they only get like 1 or 2 shots at doing it, right? So you have to take 50 shots and you have to green whatever percentage of it, 97, 95% or whatever, in order to unlock the full capabilities of your player, right? And because if you are that guy and you are proven and able to be that guy, then you can ultimately upgrade your person to a Kevin Durant level. You can upgrade your person to a LeBron James level. You'll be able to do that. Now, doesn't mean that you just walk on the court and just everything happens. You'll never miss a shot. You still got to execute in the game, right? You still have to knock down shots. You still have to make the dribble moves. You're still playing against other players who are good, maybe not as good as you, but this is basketball, right? Technically, from an athletic standpoint, there's nobody as physically gifted as LeBron in his prime. There's nobody right like that. He didn't win every game. He didn't win every championship. It's not going to automatically be that. You know, you have other people out here competing. You have other people, especially if we're talking about competitive, and we're talking about playing NPBA, WR, we're talking about playing NBA 2K League type stuff. You're not going to be unbeatable, because if you give people the rules and you give them a standard and say, hey, here's how this is going to go, people will adapt and people will learn and figure out ways how to still be competitive. Do you have an advantage if you're able to unlock every aspect of your player? Absolutely you do. 100% you do. But does that mean that you are now just this totally unstoppable, unbeatable character? No, it doesn't mean that at all. You still got to execute. And it's no different than playing. It's no different than tournament play. And you have LeBron James on your team, or you're playing with the Golden State, or whatever. It's really no different. There is a way to be beaten by another player who is skilled. So I personally think that the whole archetype system, I think, is a little antiquated and too restrictive. I think that you should have a certain body type, and to unlock everything that's in that particular body type, you have to grind, and you have to be able to pass these different metric tests that take place right on your my court, right on your my court, one particular day a week. So can you imagine the social media, like the rush that would happen say for instance, it's testing Tuesdays or something like that, or testing Thursdays. And essentially everybody knows that on this day, your testing module is available. You go in on your my court. I mean, I'm talking about the parks and the pro-am courts would be just about empty on some of these days, because everybody's in there. I mean, it wouldn't take a long time. I mean, you literally go in there, you take your test, and you try to for whatever badge it is that you're trying to get. And you have to ultimately qualify for even testing for that badge with a certain amount of hours put in terms of grinding. And then you're able to test for that badge. But if you can't pass the test for that badge, you don't get it. You just don't get it. And to me, getting a bronze badge should be easier. Obviously, getting a silver badge should be a little bit harder than gold. And then all the way up to, this is to me the way you kind of mix this up, and you have this to the point where you take the shackles off. Like, I really feel like, when I'm watching NBA 2K League, I feel like all of the players are too similar, and I don't think there's anything in the game that really separates the players. And like, 'cause when you watch the NBA, the real NBA, you see people like James Harden, you see people like Russell Westbrook and LeBron and Kevin Durant and Steph, and there's something that separates these guys from their peers. They're all good players, they're all great players, they're all in the NBA. There's nobody in the NBA that can't ball, right? But there's something that sets them apart. It's this edge. And I think right now there isn't anything present in the game that separates the individual my players from the next person. It's just pretty much like, oh, he's a pure sharp, he's gonna make that automatic. He's gonna make that, just what it is. Oh, he's a pure post, so he's gonna do this, and you can't stop him. It to me, when you vary up the levels of who the players are, you start seeing a whole bunch of different outcomes. Right now, I think it's a little too much chess. And I'm not saying that strategy is bad, but what I'm saying is chess has only a set amount of pieces that only can move a certain amount of ways. And the great thing about sports is that they're that definity like that just definitive. Oh, the knight moves in an L, the rook can go back and forth. That doesn't exist. There are no knights, there are no rooks, there's no queens and kings and pawns. There's none of that. There's guys who have a little bit of a rook and a little bit of a knight. There's guys who got a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that. And I think that variation overall needs to be there. So that's the direction. And I don't know, does that mean that we're getting rid of archetypes altogether? I wouldn't be opposed to that at all, and just going to a wide open system that allows you to literally try to maximize your guy. And obviously, if you're 7'7", there's only a certain amount that you should be able to do. So I'm not trying to say that if you're 7'7", you should be able to do 57, ankle breakers and all this different kind. I'm not saying that at all. That's ridiculous. But I think that the caps should be based on real players, right? So Kevin Durant, 6'11", near 7 feet tall, right? I think that it should be possible for you to make a player who is able to upgrade to that level. But it should be really, really hard. I'm talking about insanely hard. And it should be harder. Like, so say, for instance, if you're 6'11", right? And you have a body type like Kevin Durant, 6'11", 235 or whatever it is, right? Traditionally, the, maybe, moves or scoring or success close to the basket should be easier for you. And three-point shooting should be a little bit more difficult because across the board, the average person that height does not shoot like Kevin Durant, does not dribble like Kevin Durant, isn't as quick as Kevin Durant. So in order to get what Kevin Durant has, you have to be able to do something extraordinary because Kevin Durant is an extraordinary player. If you're going to be as big and strong as LeBron, but be as fast, there's got to be something that you have to do in able to unlock that for your player. And it has to be difficult because it can't be easy to become a great player. Because in real life, it's not easy to become a great player. Yeah, you're born with it, but those guys work hard. And I think there needs to be something in place, an actual module, because this is a video game and we can't have our players go and, shoot 1,000 jump shots. I mean, you can, but it doesn't transfer as well to the game. This is a way to transfer to the video game environment, and it creates a whole separate phenomenon in itself. Testing Tuesdays. You've been grinding. You've built up enough experience points to now take this test to see if you can attain this badge. Take this test to see, and the badges are really what separates people. Even now, right? You can have a high rating or a certain rating, but until you get gold or until you get Hall of Fame and that's when you really see the take over, right? That's when you see it. The badges, earning the badges. I understand the way they do it now, and I think that's partially correct, but I think it should be more of a test than just continue to do. I mean, it kind of is a test now, but you can just continue to do it over and over and over again. No, that's going to make it where if you sit there and you do it long enough, just sit there, I'm going to do it, I'm going to keep doing it, I'm not going to sleep. That gives the people who have an abundance of time, an advantage over some of the other people. And to me, if you create an event out of it, I think you level the playing field in that way, and you create something else for people to be excited for. Testing Tuesdays. That's my idea. I just probably gave away $1 million idea. Some of y'all might not like it, but I think it's pretty dope. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. The whole Testing Tuesday concept. Don't have to be Tuesday. It just got a ring to it, right? So I appreciate you watching as always. If you want to ask a question, don't hesitate. Shoot it to me on Twitter @UniqueMazique and use that hashtag #AskMazique. I appreciate you watching as always. God bless and peace.
How could I be weak? I'm rather unique.